What is happening? It's your pal Tommy Boy. I'm back. Yeah, gonna be a little bit rusty. It's been a few weeks, been almost a month since I put on any kind of new content, so bear with me. But I kind of had to come back because, Tom MacDonald has another new song out, which means I've got to do a reaction to it. Not because anyone tells me to, but because I want to. So, gonna be a little bit rusty. Some of you probably aren't going to be able to tell because some of you probably think I stink anyway at doing this. But that being said, I've got a feeling I'm going to identify with this song quite well. Let me put my ears on. But this song, main titled Scars. Could go one of many different ways. Could be talking physical, emotional, mental, just about any kind of scars you could possibly think of. Either way, I'm going to check it out, and we're going to hop right into it. So let's get to it, and here we go.
I don't remember how I got all these scars, but I know I lived a hell of a life. Can't remember how I made it this far, but I know it was a hell of a fight. Could have been some bones in a coffin stone, drinking vodka locked up with the bros, causing problems broke at the bottom. You know that I got a lot of marks under these clothes. Should've killed me, somehow I survived. These tattoos
And I don't think I'm going to get much of a break there, so I just have to kind of cut in there for a second. But I had a feeling that I was definitely going to feel this song, a little bit more than I feel the other ones. Typically it's more of his political commentary content that I'm doing here. This one is more or less talking about, the obvious. I mean, no pun intended. He's talking about his scars. It's not talking about physical scars, or it could be. It's talking more of his emotional and mental scars throughout his life, and I entirely relate to that. I've got quite a few myself. I have not had a perfect life. I would be lying to anybody if I ever said that. Still don't have a perfect life, because perfect is a fallacy. Perfect doesn't exist. Anyone who says they have a perfect life is full of shit. That's all there is to it. And I'll be the first one to jump on that sword to tell you that I am far from perfect. As someone who's been constantly recovering from drug use since 2005, and who has also been sober from alcohol for just over 3 years now. In fact, this past June 6th was my 3rd-year anniversary of sobriety. None of that's been easy. I'm not trying to make this about me. Certainly not looking for any kind of praise for it and shit like that. It's not what this is about. This is about the music. This is about, going on this little journey through song, if you will. So I'm going to shut the hell up. Let's get right back to it. And here we go.
But how I ended up here, but I know I probably should have died. I don't remember why I cried all those tears, but I know that I turned out alright. I know that people wanted me dead. I lost all my friends, was running from the cops. Getting bread was dark in my head. You know that I have seen a lot of things in all of my years, but I'm thankful for this crazy life. Every single scar and every single scrape, every bruise and tattoo along the way tells a little story that I can't explain, because the words escape me but the marks remain. They won't ever fade and they can't be erased. They made me who I am and I am not ashamed. Every bump and scratch and every drop of blood prove how far I've came.
I've got to agree with that to a point as well. Again, I'm having to cut in the middle of a verse because he's not really giving me too much of an opportunity to find somewhere clean to pause it real quick. So I'm kind of having to step on it a little bit. Yeah, it sucks, but sometimes it happens. But back to my point. Yeah, I'm sure some of you may have noticed in past videos that I've got plenty of ink going on myself here. Everything tells some sort of story. Mine tells me, or doesn't really tell me. I know art. I already know my past. What are these going to tell me? But what it tells everyone else is where I've been. Not so much as traveling, but where I've been at various points in my life. And there's some in hindsight that if I was at the point of clarity that I'm at now, back at that particular age when I got certain parts of my ink collection, I probably wouldn't have done that. But like Tom said, every tattoo tells a story. And those particular tattoos that I would not get today, or I would not get with today's mindset back then, it tells me of where I was at that time in my life. And it's been a long road. It's been a very sometimes terrifying road, because there's been a lot of temptation, a lot of opportunity to where I could have just completely relapsed from everything and been happy with that. And it kind of scares me to think like that, because that is one place where I never want to be again in my life. Not just the booze, but the drugs in general. But pretty much all of it. Every last vice that I ever had, every last thing that made me the person that I didn't want to be, made me a person that I couldn't even recognize anymore. I don't want to be that. I didn't like being that person then. I sure as hell don't want to be that person now. No. Whether or not I'm making any sense to anybody is completely irrelevant. I don't script these things. I don't write them out. I don't plan them out. This is me telling you how I feel. Much like this song that Tom is performing right now. This is him telling how he feels, telling his story, basically laying it out there, about another song about his past, if you will. And this, one of the main reasons that I like Tom so much, as not so much as an artist, but probably as a human being, I'd probably get along with him perfectly fine if I ever met him in person. And that's because I can relate to his story. I can relate to a lot of the things he went through in his life. I can relate. And if there was any kind of role reversal, I'm sure he would be able to relate to mine as well. And that is also probably a reason why the Hangover Gang keeps coming back to these videos. Especially more the ones that have been coming to my particular reactions, is they know I can relate, and they can probably relate with me as well. We can all relate with each other. We all have similarities to our stories in life. And Tom is the one that brought all of that together. How we all found Tom MacDonald is completely irrelevant. What matters most is we found him. We found a lot of like-minded people, a lot of people with very similar stories of their own lives. And here we are today. talking about that very thing. But that's my little diatribe, my little tangent for this video. We got just under a minute left of this one, so let's close it out on a good note. Let's let that Tom, the one everyone came to see, finish this one off.
The moments when I felt so alone, every single tear and like a million beers that I only drank so I could try to cope. Every bloody nose and all the muddy clothes when I was in the dirt down inside a hole. Every single scuff and every single scab made me who I am. These tattoos on my arm hide from you all the scars. These tattoos on my arm hide from you all the scars. These tattoos on my arms hide from you all the scars.
All right, there it is. Scars, Tom MacDonald, brand new. Actually, about 2 days old now from the time that I recorded this. But, I'm right up on top of it.
That's what she said.
Do I really feel like I'm ready to be back doing this again? Not quite, but I just had this feeling that this particular one was gonna kind of hit me on a different level, so I just felt compelled to get into the studio and react to this one just as soon as possible. Because at least one thing about Tom MacDonald is, at least in my opinion, he has yet to fail. He has yet to fail to impress me. He has yet to fail to entertain. Regardless of his message, regardless of whatever the song happens to be about, it has always entertained me. As I've mentioned ad nauseum in the past, I'm not the biggest fan in the world of hip hop. I don't pretend to be. But something about Tom's music just manages to reach me, and it gets me on that level to where I actually want to come back and listen to it on my own accord. Not because I feel I have to, because I do this, I put out this content. Not at all. This is one of those cases where I actually enjoy listening to the artist. And that list is actually fairly short compared to a lot of the artists that I've done here in the past. Some of the artists that I may be doing in the future. There's been quite a few times where I've done songs by artists and I already know I'm not going to really enjoy it. But out of fairness, I go in with an open mind, and sometimes it changes my perception of it. Sometimes it doesn't. The thing is, that's basically what these reactions are supposed to be about. I mean, yeah, I could come on here and completely snowball everybody with some fake reaction, that just wouldn't be honest. As is, I already know that as far as anything else, the odds of me getting big off of this are slim and none, and thank God that's not what I'm here for. But the fact of the matter is, it seems like people really don't want the honesty. They want to be snowballed into some spastic ass just making a big deal over the music just so they can hype their views. And you're not going to get that with me. You're going to get honesty. I'm not this overreactive, spastic asshole that everyone wants to see from these other reactions, reactions from other channels. And if you're from those other channels and you take offense to that, too bad. So sad. Bye-bye. Anyway, tell me what you think down below in the comments. My ranting aside, that's going to wrap it up for this edition of Reacts. You already know what to do. You already know what the socials are. But pretty much at Tommy Boy Detroit on pretty much everything, as well as at Ardency Media on pretty much everything. Pretty much every platform with the exception of Instagram and TikTok. If you see me there, they're fake. They're not me. I do not have an Instagram account. I do not have a TikTok account. Basically, when I'm showing these videos, if you look right underneath the videos, hang on, let me see. Underneath these videos, hang on, let me bring the screen back up here for a second. Yeah, see, right underneath the video there, at the bottom, underneath me, in front of the microphone. Those are all my socials where you can find me. Apparently, the big problem from one of my last videos is apparently people thought my taking out the outro, the little end credit screen that I had on there, was, oh my God, it was the biggest crime of the century. Message received. It'll be back starting with this video. Personally, I didn't think it was going to be that big of a deal. Just end the video, end everyone's pain and suffering of having to sit through one of my videos. Hey, apparently some of y'all missed it. So, and some of y'all picked up on it right off the bat too. So, it'll be back. That being said, I'm out of here. That's going to do it for this edition of Reacts. And until next time, keep it tight.